Hello, people. Andrew here, talking about comics from a reader, collector, speculator, investor point of view, in that order of importance to myself. And today I'm talking about Marvel's The Avengers, specifically the Silver Age of The Avengers. According to Stan Lee in his book Son of Origins, this little book here, it was a fun read. It details the origins. It has the first issue of, Iron Man and Daredevil and the X-Men, as well as the banding together of the Avengers. Oh, yeah. I have a cover of that too in here. So that was the Avengers. So according to what Stanley has to say is that he had a lot of reader feedback, which was a happy thing. They didn't get quite as much reader feedback before the superhero line, and now they were getting it like on a daily basis for all of the books. And they would talk about the writers, the artists, the story arcs, directions, and one of the things they talked about was things that they would like to see. And one of those things that kept coming up again and again for all of the books was the desire to see team ups, to see different heroes work together. Sometimes it was just within their book, but a lot of the times the request was to put a team together of these separate heroes to fight, other villains, etc., etc. And Stan Lee, Marvel was doing really well. They had a spot for more books and more titles because there was a demand for it. I can imagine that he was, he went through a number of ideas. He developed all of these characters, the X-Men and Iron Man and Thor, etc., etc. That at some point in time, that well's going to be running a little bit dry and going to need some sort of refresher. An easy fix is to use existing characters and unite them together as a team, and then figure out the story as to why they got together a team and what holds them together. But you don't have to develop an origin and a whole backstory, etc., etc. All of that takes place in the existing characters' lines of books. And we begin with, Thor, Hulk, Iron Man, and then Ant-Man and Wasp thrown in just because. I mean, there weren't a ton of heroes available to Marvel back in 1963. A couple of that would have been left out would have been, say, Doctor Strange and the Amazing Spider-Man. But beyond that, there's not a lot of characters to choose from, so they've created this team. As I say, the Silver Age, a very short period of time. If we're going by the change of price from 12 cents to 15 cents, the Silver Age is only 65 issues long plus 2 annuals. So only 67 issues compose the Silver Age of the Avengers. Stan Lee wrote the first 35 issues and then handed the scripting chores over to Roy Thomas. Art-wise, you're looking at Jack Kirby for the first 8 issues, and then art is being done by Don Heck until issue 41, which is John Buscema. And beyond John Buscema, I think it was either Gil Kane or Gene Colan that did the last couple of Silver Age issues. I don't have a lot of these Silver Age books. In fact, I've only got 4. The reason that I wanted to start with the Silver Age Avengers, even though I can't really talk about the reading part of it or really so much about the collecting, is because I like to do things systematically. I have a ton of Avengers books to go through beyond the Silver Age, but I wanted to start here to get there. I also thought it might be fun as a part of the journey is that when I do pick up some Silver Age Avengers to come back here and show you which ones I got and perhaps even how much it cost. As far as collecting the Silver Age line of Avengers, as I say, only 65 bucks plus 2 annuals, and they're not the most expensive of the bunch. You can get a huge chunk of these in mid to higher mid grade for $50 or less. There are a number of key books in here. Again, I can't show you them all because I don't have them. But the key book would be issue number 1, of course, the joining of the Avengers. Issue number 4 shows Captain America returns to the Marvel fold. The Golden Age Captain America is revivified, or revived in issue number 4. You've got Kang, who shows up in issue number 8, premier Avengers villain. And, of course, this one here, number 57, the first appearance of the Vision. I'm going to make a little comment here about the grading of this particular book. and why I have this graded copy, because I don't buy graded copies. In fact, I think I've only got 7 in my collection that is over 10,000 books. I'm not big on the grading, but I am a collector, and I've got figurines and books and movies, and I've got double covers and some variants and some misprints. As a collector, you tend to try and collect a number of things connected to the hobby. One thing I didn't have was a graded book of any kind, so I sent a bunch of books out to be graded so that I could have graded copies. Now, there are other reasons why, to get things graded, but why this one in particular? I mean, it's only a 5.0. I mean, there are some people that, when it comes to a grade, it's got to be at least a 9 something. But I'm not so concerned about the number. A higher number is great because it adds more value to the book and to the collection itself. But part of the other thing is I want to preserve a key book. I can see there's a ton of 9.8s out there from the last 20 years. And the books are not significant. They just happen to be in a 9.8 condition. I wanted to have a book that actually had significance beyond the grade. And I also wanted to pick a book that had significance beyond the cover. Although this is a very iconic cover. But I wanted a book that had importance as far as for the company concerned, Marvel, for the lore, for the history of the comic book publishing. Vision is an important character, and this is, as I said, a very iconic cover. The other reason I picked this one as opposed to something that might be a little bit in sharper condition, and I do have some of those, but this one is it preserves it in a better than, say, a My Light bag and 2 boards. Having a plastic, I mean, it's not indefinite, but I mean, it does preserve it. And the lower grade that you have, the more deterioration has already happened with the book. So further handling could weaken it even more. That's no reason to go out there and rush and say, oh, well, why didn't you get a 1.2 graded and all that sort of stuff? No, because, again, it's got to be a bit of a balance. For example, if I had an Avengers #1 at a 2.0, yes, that's worth getting graded. It's still a readable copy, still has the Avengers story itself. It's still going to be worth money even in a 2.0. I would not get this book. If this was in a 2.0, I would not get it graded. It just wouldn't be worth the time, the effort, and the money involved. So it's a scale. It's a scale. So that's, again, one of the major keys and why I happen to get this one graded. There were some minor keys as well, and there's a couple of books in here that I consider that they're borderline major. I sometimes think that perhaps there should be 3 tiers of keys, major, minor, and then mid. Because some of these books, there's a big discrepancy between some minor appearance here and it's only costing $40, and a minor, they call it a minor appearance, and it's $150. It's like the scale is just a little bit off. So a couple of books here that I would consider potentially major keys would be the first appearance of Wonder Man in issue number 9. I mean, when he was resurrected in the 70s, his career still exists today within the Marvel Universe. There's talks about doing a film with Wonder Man as well. I also consider issue number 55, which is the first full appearance of Ultron. I think Ultron's actually a better and more significant villain than Kang. I don't like Kang, but I'm not, super high on the time travel stuff. I find that it gets more bogged down by its own weight. Ultron, I think, is a great villain. He's very evil, timely with the AI sort of talks happening on right now too. But again, I don't know that they're considered major keys or they're just called high minor keys. There are a number of other books that I would consider minor keys within here. And again, I only have 4 issues here. And I'll show you the 4, but that's all I have for the Silver Age Avengers. It's a journey we'll take together. So issue number 6 was the first full appearance of Baron Zemo. You got issue number 13, which I think is a little bit of a sleeper here. It's first Count Nefaria. I can see that becoming a villain moving forward in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but nobody's mentioning issue number 13. Number 19 is the first appearance of the Swordsman. You've got issue number 28, which is the first collector. 43 is the first Red Guardian. And he's gotten a little bit of play because of the films and the shows. Within the universe itself, he was, until that, I don't know if they've written stories involving him now because of his popularity, but there wasn't much about the Red Guardian. And in fact, in the 70s, the name of the Red Guardian and the costume of the Red Guardian was revitalized in the Defenders, and it was given to a woman by the name of Tanya Belinsky. That's the Red Guardian I'm more familiar with, because the one that appeared in Avengers 43, a very short period of time. You've got the first Grim Reaper in issue number 52. You got the first Dane Whitman as Black Knight in issue 48. As I say, the Ultron cameo in 54. And also scattered throughout, there are a couple of... there's the Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne wedding. What's that? Issue number 62. You've got a crossover, the first time Spider-Man crosses over, first time the X-Men crossover. So in this 65 plus 2 Silver Age issues, there are a fair amount of keys and minor keys. And then, of course, the filler, the stories that go in within. But as I say, it's one of the less expensive Silver Age books to pick up. You can pick up a lot of these things, including some of these minor keys that I mentioned, for $50 or less in a decent mid-grade condition. This book here, the Avengers 57, in this grade, the store that I frequent the most, they currently have a copy exactly like this, graded at a 5.0 encased, and it's selling now for $350. That's not incredibly expensive for a decent copy of what I consider, a major key book. This is what I'm getting to, that the Avengers themselves, it's not the most expensive Silver Age run you're going to pick up. Okay, so what books do I have? And, the funny thing is I don't know where these books came from. So, I got issue number 49. You got Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, Magneto. It was fine, as I recall. It's been a while since I've read it. Obviously, I'll read a lot more when I get a chunk of Silver Age books together. This is, again, it's a minor key. It's what is it, Mabaku the Man-Ape. Now look, this is like a reader copy. I have no idea where this came from, but it's a reader copy. I wouldn't get a book like this graded. It's such a minor key to begin with. So even though its condition is 2.5, not at all. No, I wouldn't be getting it graded. But I'm happy to have a copy of it. I mean, it's decent enough. You can see the crease running down the center of the book, but the image is still there. The image is very clear. I'll take it. I have no idea where it came from, but I'm happy enough to have it. And the last thing I have is this. I managed to actually get a copy of the first annual. And this came when I was just an early teen, or not even quite a teen. I bought this in my Dana's old neighborhood, and it was in a corner store that had 2 for 25 cents. They were wrapped in plastic. I don't remember what the second book was, but I remember that this is where this one came from. So that's my Avengers Silver Age collection. 4 books. But, as I say, with only 67 in the lot, that's like just over 5% of the collection complete. Will I go back and start buying some of these Silver Age books? I focus different. I have different focuses right now. Right now, Silver Age, I focus with Fantastic Four and Strange Tales. But if I find a quality copy of the Avengers at a reasonable price, there's no reason that I wouldn't be picking that up. So reading, I can't tell you anything about. Collecting, it looks like it's going to be fun and not as expensive to do. There's a number of keys in there. Speculating and investing, your best investments are issue number 1, provided comic books continue to be a thing as time goes on. Your best investments would be Avengers number 1 and Avengers number 4. The Kang, I would pick the Vision over the the Kang issue. Vision is going to be hanging around for a long time, and I know Kang is going to be a villain eternally, but I think Vision has more weight and more purpose within the Marvel universe itself. As far as speculation is concerned, as I say, the Count Nefaria one might be worth your while. Issue number 13, trying to get that one in a sharp condition. Otherwise, everything else. Silver Age, there's always demand for Silver Age books, so if you can find them, even a low grade, even Mabaku, you know, picking up this for $3 to $5, it's worth your while. It's, as I said, it's decent enough that for that kind of price. I wouldn't want to spend more than that for it, but you can find other people, because there seems to be a little bit more of a demand for really high quality books, in high grade, that a lot of the lower grade stuff is being ignored. That's now. Moving forward, that may not be the case, and people will say, you know what, I would just like to have a copy of the first appearance of Mabaku. So I think that if you can find some of the Silver Age stuff, mid-grade, maybe even lower, at a really good price, it's not bad to pick up that sort of stuff. That's probably how I will build my Avengers collection. So as I say, I just wanted to talk about the beginning of the Avengers, because I have so much Avengers material beyond here. I wanted to start somewhere, and I think the beginning is a good place to start, so that's why we started here. But that's all I've got to say about the Silver Age Avengers for now. So, as always, be good to yourself and be good to others, and we'll see you again soon.